Alex Proctor has failed in keeping his hair long until the Vikings win their
That
Super
was
Bowl.
so long ago. That's old news.
Okay, so we're on to the Timberwolves now.
We just switched up the
Alex won't
teams.
shave his beard until the Timberwolves win an NBA championship. Sorry, Natalie.
Yeah, this is probably as long as it can get right now at this point. It's not as full or masculine as yours. I usually just shave it when it starts to get scraggly because it's not full enough.
I mean, you're talking to non-full. I'm not like Kellen standard over here, but
He's got like those Italian genes or something.
something. He's got something going on.
He's grizzled. Maybe that's what happens when you run a business.
Yeah, I mean, his
Shout out
genes.
Kellen though.
Yeah, shout out Kellen. Shout out Embrace North, unofficial sponsor
Oh,
of
I
what?
I
Go
have a
ahead.
funny thing about Embrace North. Not funny, but while I was in Boston, I went to a meetup with this guy named You the Runner. Super cool
Oh yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, he does city guides for all the cities he's been to with running routes in the cities, and he uses like public transportation and lives very minimalistic, which is sweet. But there was a guy that was at the meetup that I'd met that runs with Mill City, and he was wearing an Embrace North hat.
No way.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
And I was like, "Oh, do you know like Kellen and those guys?" He's like, "No, I don't know the owners or whatever." But I just started going there, and I really love doing like the sauna cold plunge. So yeah, he's a cool dude. Is that funny?
Mills. That is pretty funny. I'm
Just like
just
randomly in Boston, like seeing an Embrace North hat. I was like, "What?"
yeah. I was just thinking in my head, Mill City. Mill City, we usually see running during our running plunges and never get them to show up. So I'm just kind of thinking in my head, where's this guy when we need him? Um, that's
There's a few
beside the
guys.
point.
There was a few guys at the meetup that I think would be down to join.
Really?
You just have to like ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some cool guys. And one of the guys that I really want to introduce you to, his name's Nicholas Brewski. He
It's a good name.
yeah, he randomly just does 30-mile runs on a whim, just like
Really?
casually. So like he'd be someone that you would be able to, you Kellen and the boys,
Caius.
Caius. Who was the
Maybe
new one?
you think
Who was the new one? Raymond.
Raymond, yeah. Raymond.
It's like each year, like you guys like acquire like
Do you
one
think
more of this ragtag like
do you think
Duluth.
Brewski would run Duluth, one, and two, would he be a good hang for 3 days?
Yes, yeah, he's like a golden retriever. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a fun guy. Yeah, he seemed cool.
Add him to the list. We might have to reach out to him. We are looking to add at least one person every year. We're trying to double it, but
It's
we'll
like you're just
we'll
like passing it down to someone, and then like it just keeps expanding.
yeah. But you met them out in Boston
Yep,
when you were there
Boston.
for Natalie's Boston Marathon. Tell us about a little bit about that.
Yeah,
Congrats, Natalie, by the way.
yeah,
She'll
she
be
had an
listening
awesome
later.
race. We stayed with Murph and Luke at their apartment in nearby Boston, which was really
Shout
fun.
out.
Yeah, Luke and Murph are awesome. They were awesome hosts. Like they were
Were they?
incredible. Yeah, they had like a bedroom set up for us. They had food ready to go. They cooked meals for us. Like they were awesome. So really happy to have stayed with them and had to and cut some costs on that department just because marathon weekend out in Boston, like the cheapest you can get is like 250, 300 a night, and that's like the skimpiest of like the skimpiest rooms
Yeah.
ever. Like last year, Natalie and I did that. We were like in two twin beds. Um, but it was fine. Like it was good last year when we went, but this year was so nice being with some friends and then getting to experience it with them too. And kind of it was their first time getting to witness the Boston Marathon since they've only lived in Boston I think for 8 months now.
Mm.
So for their first time seeing the Boston Marathon, and then it was their first time going to a Red Sox game too when we went there. So it's pretty epic to watch Natalie do that and for her to experience it. I know that she was kind of under the same idea as me in that um, she was just kind of gonna check this off like a bucket list as something fun to do, and then kind of hit the trails now and do more
Mm.
trail stuff. So
What was
kind
her
of
official time?
I think it was like 3:22 and change. She was shooting for sub 3:20, but leading up into the race in the week or two prior, she was dealing with some cramping in her calves, and she tried to shake it by um, using electrolytes, But then I think she overdid it with electrolytes, but then to counteract that before the race, she tried to drink a lot of water, and then I think her balance was just messed up. So I think walking to the start line, she was starting to cramp, which is unfortunate, but she still like had the willpower to push through and still finish like with what I'd say is a PR for her. Her former PR was like 3:21, but that was at a downhill marathon. So I would say that this is like this kind of validates that like she's able to run that fast on
Yeah.
like a course that's hard, and she improved. In a
And
way,
she had her
I'd
bar
say.
exam the next day.
Not bar exam, no. She took her seventh actuary exam. She gets the results back in I think like 11 weeks or so. But if she passes this one, she'd get like her a credential. I'm not sure what the three letters are, the acronym is, but it's a pretty big
PhD.
credential. Yeah, something like that. So she did that within 24 hours of racing the Boston Marathon after being totally torched and like not being able to walk. And then we like take a 1 hour drive with Murph out to I think they pronounce it Worcester. It's like looks like Worcester.
It's Worcester, yeah.
Yeah, but they pronounce it Worcester. And
That's where College of Holy Cross is.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they so while Natalie was taking her 3 hour exam, Murph worked, and then I was on the trails for 3 hours. Which
Where'd
was
you
fun.
go around there?
There was some fun trails. One was like a Cinnabon skit. I don't know. It's like some weird like skibbity. I don't know.
Skivity? Skivity, really?
A Cinnamon skibbity. I don't know. It was some weird little hill. I did some hill repeats on like 5 by 5 minutes or 5 by 4 minutes, something like that. Ended up being like half-mile repeats uphill, and then I took the trails over to another little pocket aspect of the trail system there, and it was like called like God's Acre, which is pretty sweet. It was interesting to see in that area how like technical the terrain was and how rocky it was, in comparison to what I'm used to running out west on, where most of the trails are pretty single track, like buttery. They're technical in some parts, but like not as rooty and rocky as it was out on the East Coast. And I was kind of also surprised by how many of these huge like walls of like rocks there were that were like 2 or 3 foot high, but like stacked with like these boulders, like just randomly in the woods. It must have been like historical areas or maybe areas where battles took place, because there's like no houses in these woods. It was just like these huge walls that were like spanning like for miles in these woods with rocks. And it was funny because some of the trails that I was running on were like, there was like little painted like red things on trees or like rocks. And at one point, like it was just painted on these random rocks in the ground. Like there's no trail there. It was just like a random rock that like you could like pick up and chuck across the forest, and no one would know where the trail is.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun.
Looking at the picture you posted on Strava of the tree with just the red dot on it.
Yeah, and then you try to look in that picture of where like the next spot would be. Like you don't even know what direction you're going.
No idea.
No. So that was sweet. And then the next day it was nice because Natalie was ready, her legs moving a little bit more. So she and I went for a big bike ride. I hopped off the bike about 10 miles into it, and then I had to get a run in. So we ran and got some poke bowls, which were super good. And then I immediately started running again. My stomach started to feel it, but it's another aspect of gut training and how it's important to be able to run with food in your stomach. You'll know that, I guess, more so when you do your Wausau again. Like, I mean, you do it all the time anyway, but
Yeah.
like doing it for hour after hour after hour again.
I've gotten good at even just like, this is shocking, and it wasn't something I was always good at. But I've even gotten pretty solid about like going and running to a Chipotle and housing a burrito and continuing to run.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, I mean, I guess that's good for what I do, but I don't know if it's something that.
No, that's good. That's good gut training for sure. Being
Yeah.
able to handle that amount of like density and those calories and then being able to run on it, I don't think a lot of people could handle.
And then sticking on the marathon train, you watched the Salt Lake City Marathon this past weekend, right?
Yep, the next weekend it goes right by pretty much where we live, the neighborhood. So we just walked over and Watched it at Sugar House Park for a bit, and I had forgotten my friend Sam Collins, who placed third at the Buffalo Run 50 miler and who was leading from mile 15 to 30. I forgot he was running this too. So when we were at like mile 11 of the race at Sugar House Park, he comes in with like the motorcade like in front of him with his like shirt off, camo shorts, like a naked like belt on, like a trail runner. Totally looks like a trail runner, but like
Yeah.
leading the race.
Yeah.
And he comes flying in. I'm like, Sam, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. Like, you're just the man I wanted to see. And so he was having a good time. And then in fifth place at that point was one of our good friends, trail runner friends around here too, Chepe Cruz. He's someone that got second at Wasatch 100 last year, and then he won the Bear 100 last year. So he's gonna be a competitor of mine at the Bear 100 this year. So it's cool to see. Like he does a lot of road races over the winter, less trail running races, just because there's not as many and there's a lot more in Salt Lake on the roads in the winter. So he's been doing a lot of training there. So it's cool to see the guys that are mostly focused on trail throughout the rest of the year, like hit a fast road marathon. I think both of them finished under 240, like 235 was Sam, and then I think Chepe came in a few minutes after him. So they finished third and fourth. It was interesting that the prize money for that race was not that much for like a city marathon. I think first place was like $500 and a free pair of shoes.
Really?
Yeah, and like Sam, I think got like $100 for third, which is
Okay.
pretty. Like he got the same for Buffalo Run, like a race that has much less people, much less sponsorship support. So I don't know if it's just a case of Salt Lake Marathon officials like being greedy or what, but like I'm sure they could be able to give away more prize money. I'm sure that's why that's not as competitive of a race in terms of like the times that are put down, just because there's not as much incentive for some like maybe the Eastern Africans or some of the more top guys in the U.S. to even race it. It's not even worth their time like at this point in the season with how little there is in prize money. But it did look like a cool race. We saw them again at like mile 20, with like 10K to go, and I was able to run beside him again and hype him up. Also saw my friend Garrett Foster out there. He's a big trail runner too, and it was his first road marathon, which is cool to see. So he crushed it too. So Natalie had a good time that morning before I started my shift watching that. But
Dude, speaking of, I don't want to go too far away from prize money. Someone sent me a ultra backyard in Georgia in December that has prize money of the winner gets $10,000.
what?
Yeah. So each competitor starts with $100 bill.
Oh yes, I've seen that before. Yeah, I think there's another race like that too.
There's one in December and one in January.
Yeah, I think there's another that's like where you put in like the money into a pot and like the winner gets it basically. Yeah. Dude. I think it's kind of vert heavy though. Like it's kind of a hard one.
It has to be because the winner last year went for 36 hours. And 34 hours is what I won last year in Wausau. And I saw, and there's a YouTube video attached to it
Yeah.
that was like, it's 30% grade. Is that steep?
Yeah, that's really steep.
Okay, there's like,
That's really steep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks like you start at the top of this ridge and then you just go straight down to this parking area and it's 605 like actual steps, like you're on like steps back up, like straight up. So like you're on like a wood staircase, basically just back up for 605 steps, which would be insane.
yeah, the Conquer. It's in Dawson. $10,000 cash to one winner, the toughest last man standing.
Yeah.
Dawsonville, Georgia.
Yeah. So it looks like based on whoever signs up, like that's how much money there is in the pot, like times 100
Yeah. Okay.
bucks. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like you're kind of just like wagering on yourself.
Right.
That's kind of sick. I like that idea.
Yeah, $150 to sign up, and at the start of the race, you will be given a $100 bill to carry. The remaining 50 goes to park fees, volunteers, and insurance. That's how it should be done. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Dang.
So definitely
like that.
signing up for that.
Are you?
I mean, why not?
Dude, you gotta get some vert in then.
I
Like
know.
a lot of vert in. Like and steep vert too. Like isn't there something I'm forgetting his name now. But like the project, the whatever what are those
November
projects?
Project, Brogan
November
Graham.
project. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Aren't there some that take place where there's like like steps where you kind of go up and down like steps? There's like one variation that they've done I've seen like I don't know
Yeah,
if it's near like Theater Worth or where it is in Minneapolis, but like that'd be some spot that you'd probably want to hit of like just going up steps up and down. A
yeah.
lot of them. Yeah. Otherwise, Highland has some steep pitches that you could just rip up and down, up and down.
Oh, okay, shit. Okay, so I'm just
We're going on a tangent for anyone
yeah,
listening, but
but this description is so leading up to the bottom parking area to pick up Lower Mountain and then up to the trails with 605 steps. The 4.1 mile loop is 1,065 feet of elevation. Holy yeah. Okay. I would definitely. Okay, yeah. I gotta get a lot of vert in to.
dude, say you do 24 hours, that's like over 24K a vert.
Yeah. All right. I can do that still.
Okay.
So
Lock in real quick.
lock it in. Lock it in.
You versus Harvey Lewis.
Well, I don't know if he'd be going to that, but
No.
so what's this challenge that you're doing right now that I just saw you posting about the other day?
Yeah, so it's something that's kind of going in. It's coinciding with the Twisted Fork Trail Running Festival that takes place in early to mid June this year. That Finn Melanson with Single Track is putting on. So his like race event arm, Massif Running, they're putting on this challenge in with Not That Serious Run Club. It's like one of the popular run clubs around here.
Run
To
club.
put on like this community event where each time you summit this mountain, you get like a sticker on like a card, and for every sticker you have, for every time you summit, you get an entry into like a raffle for different prizes, and that could be like knack nutrition, that could be Gorewear clothing, that could be Raid, like a Raid belt, which is like a cool like piece of gear that I use a lot. Norda shoes, Norda gear, and then potentially race entries. I think race entries into the Antelope Island runs, Twisted Fork runs in the future, and then I think there's going to be one lifetime pass for all of Finn's like races going forward in the future, which would be
That's
super
insane.
sick. So it's not like winner takes all and like that
Mm,
the
mm.
most you like not the like the Chipotle challenge where whoever does the most segments like automatically wins something. It's like you up your chances, and it's like I guess more open to people that aren't gonna be out there so much. So like someone with one ticket could go out there and win a lifetime pass to all of Finn's races in the future. So I think it's pretty cool. It's
That's
pretty fun
great.
and like something that I think more brands should do and could kind of get behind. There's this challenge going on right now in Boulder, put on by La Sportiva, where it's kind of similar. There's a segment in Boulder around Mount Sanitas, which is one of the most popular mountains that people run and hike, and it's like a 2.15 or 2.5 mile segment up and around a little loop, but it's got quite a bit of vert. I think at least 1,000 feet, and whoever at the end of the challenge, it's like a month and a half or a month long, whoever has like the segment record and who's done it the fastest from both men and women get like $1,000 and a free pair of shoes, I think. And then whoever like the top three people with the most segment attempts get like 1,500 and like $250. So it's like kind of encouraging people to like go out there, do the segment, rally behind it, like a community event that like a brand is putting on and like putting a lot of support behind to kind of promote like a new shoe that they have or a new piece of gear.
I think that's the direction that it's been talked about, but I think that the Chipotle challenge, the thing that you're doing now with Twisted Fork, like these are just the beginning of so much untapped creative potential of growing the sport and getting more people
Yeah.
into it. And like, I don't know, it almost feels like
The barrier of
I,
entry is so
it's
low.
so low. And,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like
You don't
going
have
to
to
a
pay
big
anything.
time race, you don't have to pay $2,500 to go start the race. Like you can localize it. It brings the localization back to running where, I don't know, the running room store down the street can put on something where they
Hey.
give away $500 to $500 to spend in their store. Like there's opportunities, which I think is super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so
So
I'm kind of going for that right now, and like honestly, I've just been fiending for like some kind of arena or some kind of like challenge around here that's put on like with some carrot, like just just to know, like not because honestly, not even because I really wanted any of that gear or because I feel like I even need that lifetime pass to the races, but just because I know that there's a chance that someone else might be going for it too,
yeah,
and just like compete with them on like some sort of thing, like some competitive thing that like we both can control, you know?
you're now training better because of this.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes. Like I feel like it's going to be motivating to like run with people more and like want to do like this segment together and kind of like share like the same, you know, miles with people and like kind of be working towards the same things. Even like if I don't even care about the rewards at the end, it's like almost forces people to do something together and like run the same routes together,
Right, right,
which is
right.
cool because then like I don't know, then you get more camaraderie and you get more friendship out of it and experiences that you guys can share together. And it's like a cool route too. It's like pretty simple. It's like 2.15 miles up this like quote unquote mountain, and it goes up like 750 feet in those 2.15 miles. So it's an average pitch of like 6.6%, which is all like runnable, I'd say in my book. Like I wouldn't probably be hiking any of it, but it's like just hard enough that like, or just like easy enough that I should say that like you can run it pretty well up and down, so you can get some reps in there. Yesterday I got in 5 laps of the summit on the first day that it was like the challenge dropped, and it was 21 and a half miles and I think like 3,500 feet of vert, maybe a little less,
37.
37. um so that was
How do you
cool.
get the sticker? How, is there somebody
Yeah, so there's
there
a
with it?
there's a it's kind of based on an honor system, and just like they'll be checking people's Stravas, but there's like an ammunition can like up there so that it doesn't like, you know, it can handle the elements, and there's like a sticker page in that ammo canister with cards for people to take and put stickers on. So
Got it.
I did it twice this morning as well with my friend Mike Cappy. Was able to convince him to go up there with me, and got 2 laps in and took a different way down for the second time. But
It's a beautiful course. I mean, just
oh yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, especially now in the springtime right now with the greenery. I know it's gonna get a lot more dry come summer, and that'll greenery really be gone. So the temperature was like perfect. It was like maybe high 40s, low 50s. Perfect spring morning. Like birds are chirping. Rich people are out like walking around. Like dude, it was so funny. Like I'm just not familiar with this tax bracket that these people were living in. Like these houses that like we run by out on this like loop that we did, they're like, you know, they're in the tens of millions of dollars. Like they're absolute like campuses. And I'm just walking by people, and the way that they say like good morning to me, I can just like tell they're expensive.
yeah.
Like those people are expensive. Like they're just like good morning. Like it's like I like I'm
It
like
sounded like a video game NPC. Like,
yes. I mean yes. Yes. And they're just like, yeah, walking their dog, and yeah. I mean, it was a fun morning. So I'm trying to get more people to rally behind it too, and like get more people out here. So I'll be inviting more friends out to run the loop, and even if it lowers my odds because they're getting stickers and they're entering this raffle, like I don't even care. Like I just like I want to do something with friends that like people can get behind, and like
yeah.
it's slightly competitive.
When does it end?
It ends, I think, the day before the race.
Okay.
So
Dude, and also a side quest question. How many shoes have you worn? I'm just on your Strava right now. It looks like you have 50 different shoes you've worn.
yeah, I know. I have a
What
like
the heck, dude?
yeah. And right now, that's a good segue. I'm just using these on the trails right now. They're pretty dirty, so it's kind of hard to see them in their full glory. But
So
these
these
are
are the 910s.
yeah, these are the 910 Yuza Manglayang. This is like a mountain that's significant in Indonesia, where a lot of people like gather as a community and run up. There's a academy called Manglayang Academy where like they do like trail running like classes and stuff for people that are getting into it. So this is like something that they are wanting to. They have now shown this to the academy, and they've like collaborated with them now, and like this is kind of like the centerpiece of their partnership, and that like they're basically making a shoe like to show them like how much they respect this academy and how much they want to be partner with them, and like it's cool that like I've played a pretty big role in pseudo consulting for them and like basically telling them what kind of parts and aspects of a good trail running shoe like would be for for um, for them. So like the
Yeah.
midsole is pretty sweet. It's a Vibram midsole, one that you've probably seen if you're a trail runner on like the Norda shoes. Super expensive, super high quality shoes. They use a Vibram midsole. It's like a in between, like a soft and firm. It's a pretty good density. And then the outsole is like Vibram light base mega grip, so pretty lightweight, grippy rubber. If you've ever seen the normal Tomir 2, it's the same outsole, exact outsole as that. This one's just red in this case. The upper material is Matrix. That's another brand. It's like a Kevlar reinforced weave that's very durable, lightweight. Right now, I don't think they were able to incorporate the Kevlar reinforcement just yet, but the upper is pretty good and pretty sturdy. Tongue fits really well. They've said that their testers in Indonesia have said that the heel counter is a bit too stiff, but I've found that it's not too stiff for me. Feels just right. So super awesome shoe. I think I've put how many miles have I put it? I think I've put about like let's say 47 ish miles, almost 50 miles in it at this point.
Yeah. 47.8.
47.8 miles and feels awesome. Honestly, I love it. Like the only part I think I would change as of now would possibly be the tongue. It's a little starchy, a little stiff. I don't feel it when I'm running, but like just the feeling of it, I don't know. I think it could be a little bit more lightweight and breathable. Cut some weight off that. And then I think the polyurethane, like pretty stiff, like toe cap material that wraps around. I don't even know if they really necessarily need this. I think it adds the ability for them to put like logos and stuff.
Yeah.
And also like add a little bit of durability. If like kick a rock, like you won't feel it as much because this is like super hard and tough. But with that, it does add weight and makes the shoe a little bit more stiff. So I think that in the next iteration, I would like to see maybe them just like reinforce the upper with that Kevlar and then just like bring that all the way down to the bottom here without the reinforcement of this. But otherwise, like honestly, like I'm super impressed with this shoe. It's an incredible, like I can't believe that just a few months ago I was at TRE and the last day, like roaming around like a chicken with like head cut off, like with like 10 minutes to go before the whole expo was shutting down. I walked over to this booth and like now look, there's a prototype shoe that I basically like told them exactly what to make and like how to do it, like what brands to like use, and it's in my hand and I've been running in it. It's just it doesn't it's like serendipitous. It doesn't like I don't know. It's pretty crazy to think. And this is like not the only shoe that is down the pipeline too. Like this is just like one of like the routes that like the trees that we're going down. Like this is like more of like the like plug and play, and that like they're using like Vibram's proprietary midsole, Vibram's proprietary outsole, Matrix's like upper material. On the other tree that we're going down, it's gonna be more of their stuff. I'm pretty sure. I think Vibram's helping to make like their midsole and outsole, but it's gonna be more custom to their brand. itself, like with more customization. This one's like kind of like Vibrum's shareable outsole design, so you'd be able to see this on like any shoe that has a Vibram partnership. And then we're gonna be testing out some different upper materials on that one as well. Possibly like a Dyneema, which is another very durable material that Nordas also use. So really cool. And the goal with this project, and one that like what we've been focusing on, is like a shoe that I'd feel confident enough running UTMB in. So like honestly, like I think I would be confident running in this shoe at UTMB, like if I had to
As
tomorrow,
is.
as
Yeah.
is. Like that's how like good it is, and like I think it says a lot about like their capabilities and their like quality at this point. Um, just because I've tried out so many shoes, like you were saying, like I've tried out like probably 30 plus trail running shoes. I've worn the best ones that are out there, and like this this is one that's right up there with all of them. And um, I think it's so cool that they have respected my opinion so much and my perspective so much, and like my experiences, to the point where they are just like basically trusting what I say and implementing it and going with it and presenting it to academies in their country to basically like show them like what they're capable of like producing for this partnership with these. Like it's just so cool,
Yeah.
like that they're like bringing.
Well, it's
I,
it's it's just weird to see you holding the shoe because I mean, like you said, this is a group, this is a company that you met at the final minute at
yeah, it's like a
TRE.
buzzer beater.
Buzzer beater that we weren't like, you weren't technically supposed to be at TRE, but through this podcast you got there, and then to we've been kind of hinting at this, talking about it subtly in this podcast, so the longtime listeners will know that this has been a thing in the works. But I remember just seeing images that they had sent you on this, and then to see you have it in person, it's
It's sick,
remarkable.
dude. It's
Yeah.
like it's
And
so
it's
crazy.
really just the beginning of it,
It
because
is, yes.
you'll
And
go
this
back to
other,
the drawing board and
yes, and like this other one that we're working on, like I've had to say in like the drop from heel to toe, the materials that are used in the insole, the the upper material, the lace material, like this one, like they obviously are using some of the parts that I've talked about, but it's more it's less customizable just because it's using so many like existing brands parts, and
yeah.
they're kind of like plugging and placing them together. So like those are the kind of the parts that I've like suggested them to use, and they're kind of putting them together in this. And then the other one is like we're kind of like going from the ground up, and like I don't know, it's just it doesn't really make sense, you know. It doesn't really
It
make sense,
does.
but
It does.
I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. Just man, it's incredible just to think. Like honestly, like the first run when I was running in these, I was almost starting to tear up because I couldn't believe like what I was doing. Like I felt like I was just like running in a shoe that, like, I don't know. Like I had like a lot of, I don't know, say in, I guess,
Well,
which is so cool. Like because
yeah.
there's a lot of brands like out there that have athletes on their teams, and like it makes sense because they're probably a bit bigger and more established than maybe 910, because 910 isn't like a global brand yet. But like a lot of their athletes don't have as much say as I have had with 910 in this process, which is just super cool and something that I'll forever be grateful for. No matter like if something happens with 910 in the future with the partnership, or I go other ways or they go other ways, like the fact that they like, I don't know, this is just
To
oh,
me, and we've talked about this off air, but I think it is when I think about you in that moment running in these shoes for the first time on the trail, to me there's a recognition that the journey you set out to go on to become a professional runner years ago is being like verified and validated through this shoe company. And in similar ways, like they're also they're taking a chance on you, but you're also taking a chance on them. And I think this is such a great company because of, well, the communication that you've shared, like how hardworking and open to feedback and just dedicated to the craft that they are. It's so in alignment with you, but that validation of like, you're not crazy for having this big dream and going after it. And this is like validation for it.
Yeah,
And it's like, stay
exactly.
on the path. So
Exactly. Yeah, like
there's a lot wrapped up in this shoe.
it is. Like how quick, like ASEP, my guy that I've been in contact with, like the creative director for this brand, like, and I mean, he wears a bunch of other hats too, like I've said in the past, but like he's just so quick to respond and like just loves like how thorough I am and like takes it back to his designers and his like shoe developers, and he actually like tells them like what I'm saying. Like it's not like he's like just I don't know. He's not just like saying something to please me. Like he's actually like just he's doing it. He's just like he's talking the talk and like walking it too. Like he's just all business, which is
And
so
off
cool.
like 12-hour time difference too.
Yes. So the only the time that we mostly DM is like late at, no, it's so funny. Like it's like late at night for me. So like I'm like in bed like DMing him, and like Natalie like rolls over like, what are you doing? Like turn your phone out. I'm like, I'm DMing ASEP right now. Oh my
gosh.
Oh yeah. She's like,
It's like that meme, like
yeah,
girls
I
think
know.
you're out cheating on him. It's like you texting this Indonesian man halfway across the globe.
I know. Like it feels like it should be like catfishy, but like the fact that
The shoe got
the shoe got here, though, it's real. Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. So I'm excited to keep working with them this year. We have nothing like officially, like, no contract signed, like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like this is all just like free balling it. Like we're like, it's just like pseudo consulting and them like taking my opinion seriously and like respecting what I have to say, basically. And like, I guess this kind of stemmed also from me wanting to validate that their shoes were good enough for like me to wear in a way. Like I wanted to know, like I hadn't tested their gear before, and I wanted to know like what they were capable of making because I'd never worn any of their shoes before. And it's like, I'm not going to partner with someone that I don't think I could actually run in the shoes, because then I'd just be a sham, and I would be pushing product to people that I don't actually use, you know?
Now, I don't, hopefully this isn't in any way insulting to 910, but when I'm looking at that shoe, it reminds me a little bit of the Speed Goat. Does it feel or look similar, or is that just what I'm getting from
No, I would say
across
that
the
it's
cam?
more. I've in my testing now, and like this kind of lines up with my first impression too, is that it feels like a mix of the Norda. I mean, you like the new Speed Goat. It probably would feel like the new Speed Goat, but because it's a little, that Speed Goat's a little stiffer, but feels like the Norda 001, which is like their like trail tank workhorse shoe. The normal Tomir 2, and then the Mafate Speed 4 from Hoka mixed together, honestly. It's like, I would say like it feels like the Norda underfoot. It's got the normal basically outsole, and then the upper is kind of like a more reinforced Mafate. So like three of the shoes that I love and like cherish most, like the Tomir is the trail shoe that I've worn the most of any trail shoes. I put the most miles on out of any of them. The Norda 1, I just have a love-hate relationship with the heel counter. It's a little too stiff for me in that one. And then the Mafate Speed is what I wore for my Grindstone 100 the entire time. So three shoes that I love, and yeah, we don't have to really touch on this anymore, but I think it was just cool that part of this process is coming full circle now, and like something that we've been hinting at for many podcast episodes.
Yeah.
So if anyone's been listening carefully, like,
You're the
so
goat.
cool. No.
No,
So
no,
cool
I'm
to
saying
see.
the person that's listening,
Oh,
that has
yeah,
listened
yeah,
all
yeah,
the through, they are the goat.
They are.
Thanks, Mom,
Yep,
and
yep,
Natalie, and
Yep.
Lucy.
Yep. My boy Adam, Zach, who else would be listening to these episodes?
Oh, what's his?
Sam Collins, my boy.
I forget. Not gonna insult him.
Anyway, if you have been listening to all the episodes, comment and let us know, and let us know that what we could do better too, because we're always looking to improve. Sometimes I forget that we're actually like pseudo talking to an audience in some way. Like,
no, it's hey, we're 40
we
minutes.
just use this as an excuse just to like talk for like an hour every
Honestly,
week or so.
it feels that way.
Yeah, but maybe people enjoy it. I think what we do need to start doing is like actually we need to start posting these audios on like Spotify and Apple Music. We need to figure out how to do that. That's another thing we need to figure out offline. But
So we need to do that. Well, I guess we could do that, but we need to first start getting clips out.
clips too. Yes, I forgot about that too. All right, that's another thing we need to take care of too. Our marketing team is lacking right
Are
now.
lacking. So I
Natalie,
still
I'm
gotta
just
I
kidding.
gotta get the last episode up.
Okay, we've been slacking a little bit. I'd say that, but hopefully people are enjoying what we have put out so far. Okay, on the next topic, we got Wausau. I know you started getting your supplies for that. Any new developments?
Yeah.
Anything you're feeling? I know you've been
Well,
cutting mileage a little bit more and doing more speed work in preparation for your big summer of beer miles coming
Yeah.
up here.
yeah, the miles have been a lot lower than typical months.
Yeah.
We talked about that too. It's not. I don't think it'll be a big issue or any issue at all. There are massive storms hitting the Midwest right now, and a lot of rain in Wausau, Wisconsin, over the next
Ooh.
week.
Isn't it
So,
the same conditions as last year?
dude, it started raining
Looks like a
around
mud
like
fest.
8 p.m. and then rained all through the night. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. We all got to run the same course. I was thinking about it today. I was like, I just ran 135 miles on snow, sloppy conditions at Arrowhead. I'm ready for whatever conditions. Honestly, bring it on. If it's raining the entire time, that will put me into
Yeah.
a zen mode where I'm just like, bring it on.
That's
Nobody
the nice
else
thing
out
about
here.
these experiences that you can keep building off them. Like
For
the
sure.
pain might feel just as bad or even
Yes.
worse at times, but at least you know that like you have something under your belt. Like even if it gets hard, it's
Yes.
so cool like to have that. Even if like it doesn't, it hasn't affected like how well physically you can react to it just because like the pain's inevitable. Like at least you like know that you've pushed through it before and like even harder conditions.
You'll survive. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and Lucy and I did a little Costco run this weekend.
What'd you pick up?
We picked up. So the food supply for this weekend is going to be. We're gonna do salmon sandwiches,
Oh,
egg
fire.
and bean burritos. We got
That
some
sounds
bone
like a
broth.
fart machine.
Oh, it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
That's one way to weed out the competition.
I will be dropping a lot of doogies on the course. All right. Lentil soup, some mashed potatoes, spaghetti and meatballs, protein balls, pancakes, and hash browns. Those are the main food sources, and they will all be made on Wednesday. And then Lucy will kind of cook them up in a pan.
Now, have you tested all of those foods before in races prior? Or
Yeah,
is this
that's
new?
pretty much all I ate last year. Now the salmon sandwiches are new, but I eat those on the reg,
Yeah,
and
we had salmon bowls at our Lake Harriet
yeah.
backyard too.
So there's not really much food that is the only thing I stay away from is a ton of meat because although I eat meat now, I don't. It's not like a big part of my diet.
Yeah.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Hey yo. Hey yo. Okay. So the food's never been an issue for me. So it's just making sure that I'm not what's the best way to put this? What's the medicine that makes you stop diarrheaing?
Zach uses that all the time. My buddy
It
Zach.
starts
Frick.
with an M.
I don't know, but he uses it all the time.
Yeah. Is that Trails with Zach?
Yes.
Yeah.
He might use
We're on
it
the-
too much.
Yeah, we're on the same train there, bud.
Mucinex? No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not Mucinex. But got some of that because once I start going, it's it's hard to. I'm like
Yeah.
going every loop.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Was it Imodium?
yes, something like that. I think
Yeah.
it is.
Imodium, yeah.
Um, and then my shoes, I'm going with Speed Goats, just like I wore last year, and I'm also bringing the Speedland SVTs, which I wore for Arrowhead, and
What's
I,
your rationale behind using shoes for as long as you do? I saw your Instagram that you
oh
said for
yeah,
1,500 to 2,000 miles.
I'm
That's
sure
nuts, dude. Dude.
we are like we are the complete opposite. Like you've gone, I see your shoe list. There's like 50 shoes. I'm still wearing shoes that I had during like my full year of Calendar Club.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
So
like, is it a matter of you, like, what's your rationale behind that? I guess, like, there's so many, like, different ways that I guess you could get new shoes for either free or for, like, little to nothing.
well, I, one, it's like a matter of it doesn't cause me. It's not a pain point for me. Like I don't
Hmm.
experience pain, so it's not something that I
You don't
feel.
necessarily need.
Yeah, if it was causing me pain, now there are like some shoes that I still have in my closet there that I do feel a bit more sore after, and I just have stopped using those. They have like holes all over them. So those,
Hmm.
like, I get it gets to a point where it becomes too extreme. Um, but like I don't know what ways am I going to get shoes for free? Reach out to brands and have them send me shoes for free just for the heck of it? Like I guess I could do that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Um, um,
I mean, a lot of these brands do have ton of budgets for that kind of stuff. Like, so I mean, it's worth a shot too.
it just feels like let's say Hoka. Like I'm never gonna be a Hoka sponsored athlete. I'm never gonna be an
Never
ambassador.
say
Okay.
never. You don't know that.
Well, I guess I should never say never. But like me reaching out for the sole thing of like asking for free shoes just feels weird to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
You might have
that
to.
like
Yeah, I guess it depends
do
on
I have
who
to
you're
get
connected.
over that or
Might I guess it depends on who you're connected with, and like the relationship with you have with those people.
but I
Because
don't
then,
have any relationship with any of them. So the only reason I'd reach out to them is to get a free pair of shoes.
yeah, I guess then it would be kind of tough. But all of my people talk to your people.
Yeah, get them connected. Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe have 910 send me out some free shoes.
dude, I need to. People have been asking to like they want to start test them too. So I don't know how hard it is for them to get the shoes over here. I don't know if they have to go through any like tariffs or I know they have to go through customs obviously, but um, I wonder how hard it would be for them to get some more pairs over here that I could send off to some
Dish
people.
out.
That'd be cool. Maybe like the last iteration, like the final one. That'd be cool to be able to
Final draft.
the final draft. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so Wausau's about to be wrapped up in a ribbon here, and it's about time to celebrate whatever you've been putting in. Are you gonna be using like any drone for that? Can you do that? Can you like use?
I did ask. I mean, I know the race directors very well,
Yeah.
and I asked them because I'm bringing Ben Nelson and Frankie JST guys.
Frankie.
Yeah, they're gonna come out and do some filming
Wait, Ben
on.
too.
Yeah, and
That's funny.
Ben. Um, I I want to put together some type of YouTube documentary for my channel for this, and I think the best way that I can describe how I want to capture it is, um, imagine like, did your family ever have home videos growing up?
Yeah, we had like some of those. Like
Yeah,
yeah, like,
like of Christmas, you opening
yeah.
presents, and like I just wanted to have that vibe
Hmm.
because it takes a lot of less pressure off since I'll be the one doing the editing because I don't have a film crew that is like editing and putting together this big production like you see in like the King of Moab type of stuff.
Hmm.
And I just want it to be, I don't want there to be like cameras in my face or my crew's face that are like asking questions that make it feel like we have to create something.
You want it to be more organic?
Yeah, just more organic. Like just capture what's going on.
Yeah.
And that to me is like I just want something to look back on and be like, wow, those are some fun memories, and here's how I want to share it with other people.
Like you want nothing to be like scripted or that type
Yeah,
of thing.
no,
Yeah.
like I don't need any like pre-race interview and it's like me coming in like this. My name's Mark Dowdle.
No, but you like looking at the interviewer as like the
Yeah. It's like yeah, I don't need that. It just makes it feel overproduced in my mind, and it makes it feel
Yes. I feel like there's a
fake.
time and place for those
Sure.
yeah.
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 So there's that. But dude, this is my favorite weekend of the year. I'm so stoked. And
What about
well,
your wedding?
this happens every year. That only happens once. I was very
Always next year.
It's my favorite weekend every year. So that'll be my favorite weekend
Anniversary.
in October. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. It'll be fun to share my takeaways from that.
Nice.
And you got Tire Claw, what, next
Yeah.
week? Not this weekend, next weekend.
Next weekend, yeah. And oh man, dude, this guy I had tagged in one of my stories today, just saying like I was excited to watch him run Cocodona.
Yeah.
He said that his two pacers bailed on him last week, so he asked me if I wanted to pace him for Cocodona, but I can't because of work. So I'm a little bummed.
You can't get out of it?
No. Unfortunately, we're pretty short-staffed next week, and there's no one to really trade shifts with, or like for them to take my shift. So
Dang.
yeah, that'd been a cool time, but it's a bummer. So if there's anyone out there that this would have to go up before
We gotta get this up. Yeah.
yeah. If there's anyone out there in the Phoenix or Flagstaff area that wants to pay someone at Cocodona and experience this, and possibly see Courtney DeWalter out there, and Cam Haynes,
And Cam Haynes. And Max Joliffe.
reach out to me, DM me, and I'll connect you with my guy. He needs people. Otherwise, it's just me, him out there for 250 miles.
Dude, that is crazy.
Yeah. I think he has a crew. But he's got no pacer. And if he wants to compete, like...
Is he in the race for competing in top 20 type of deal?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like he won the USA Track and Field 100-mile race this year. He got second technically, but since the first place guy used a shoe that had too high of stack height, he ended up winning the the title, which is pretty cool for the 100-mile like road championships. I think he did it in like 7.
I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, it's like on a 1.2 mile loop.
I see.
But yeah, his name's Cody Poskin. He's a cool dude. So
Did he say why, or like, can you share why they bailed?
I don't know. He just said that they bailed.
That's wild.
So he's doing it solo as of now, which just sucks. If you would have reached out to me like 2 months prior,
Yeah.
I know they weren't bailed at that time, but maybe I would have been able to get work off. And it also tough because it's coming at the start of a race week for me, so I'd be tapering, but also like pacing him for like 100 miles, maybe.
Worth it though.
Definitely worth it. Yeah, like definitely worth it. I'd sacrifice my race for someone else's Cocodona in a heartbeat, but I just don't have the capability right now with my work schedule and going full time this week. So it's gonna be a little more tough.
Mr. Corporate Proctor.
It's not corporate. It's not
Corporate Proctor.
It's
With your
retail.
big suit.
Yeah, the big SLRC uniform. So if you guys are in the Salt Lake City area, stop by.
Stop in the running store.
Stop in the running store. And I'll be able to help you out. But yeah. So if anyone's in the Phoenix, Flagstaff area, my guy Cody needs some help, and he would very much appreciate it. Seems like a really cool dude. Fuels off mostly Pop-Tarts. So he's one of those guys. Pretty funny dude. But yeah, on Tiger Claw though, that's gonna be sick. 31 miles, 8K vert, You get to choose your way up this mountain.
Are you wearing 910?
Man, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a hard decision because,
I mean, what's your goal for this race?
well, now that I've tasted winning, like
Yeah, you want it again.
yes, exactly. Like I don't think I'll ever not want to like be in contention like I was then again, just because of how competitive it felt and how like I actually felt so engaged
Yeah,
in that
it's a
moment.
much different experience.
It's totally different,
Yeah.
much more engaging, much more exhilarating, and
Yeah.
worth my time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
might be a little different this one, just because if someone like the leader goes off, if it's not me, if the leader goes off the front and chooses a route that I don't necessarily want to go first, like I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do in that moment. Like, do I go with him and like stick with that and just then I know exactly how far away I am from the lead, or do I go off my own route and just bank on me doing all the routes faster than anyone else and time trial it basically? That's kind of like the two options. Like you either go with like the lead pack of people and like do the same things they do, and then you guys race it together, or you just freestyle it and just see if you can do all three faster than everyone else. So it's gonna be an interesting race. The strategy's gonna be much different than Antelope, just with those added factors in there. But I'm excited to see some of the Rabbit team there, and then see the race director Ethan Newberry. I think he was the one that he directed one of the films, directed or produced, or maybe both. I think the film's called The Race That Eats Its Young. It's one of the Barkley films.
Oh yeah.
So he's the race director. Um, Pretty cool guy. And Natalie and I were luckily able to snag a Airbnb that's pretty close to the start line. So we won't have to necessarily get a rental car, I don't think, because neither of us are 25 yet. So those fees start to
That's
add up.
that's funny.
So we'll be able to hopefully just walk to the start line from our Airbnb and rip the race and go. But I'm pumped for it. It'll be a nice vert opener to the summer and getting a lot of, I guess, new stimulus in my legs to prepare for a huge summer of vert in preparation for UTMB and the Bear 100, along with Speed Goat, Twisted Fork, you know, the rest of the races that are going to be pretty vert heavy outside of Twisted Fork, and then most are going to be at altitude. This is going to be like my last race that's at sea level this year, I think. So that's what I've been doing prep on that Kimball benchmark up and down. It's like at 7,000 feet. So getting used to running at that altitude is going to be integral if I want to succeed in this race season. I think it's going to be a big year for me in terms of showing potential sponsors, what I'm capable of. Since Buffalo Run, I've been in contact with a handful of different brands, and I think now that I'm sort of on their radar in a way, at least like they know of me, I kind of need to now do my part to show them why I should be like a bigger blip on the radar and something that they could potentially see signing in the future. I know most teams are locked up at this point. Like most contracts are negotiated in like August, September, October range in the year. So all the teams are pretty locked up from now until pretty much then. But if there's potential to be signed with a specific brand, I kind of have to show out at these races this year if I want, a chance to have further talks going into next year. But you know what? I'm not putting too much pressure on myself, just because my plan when I got into sport at 22 was by the time I was 27 and a half to be like signed and have a contract, and I'm still 24. So actually I think it was 26 and a half, maybe 27. I forgot what it was. It was somewhere in there, 26 and a half to 27 and a half. So I still have like about two and a half years on that plan. So I'm feeling okay on that. Things have kind of sped up faster than I thought they would, and like talks have started happening a bit quicker than I had foreseen. Um, but
While you're on that, because that's something Kellen and I have talked about, of like how it feels like things have happened quickly, and I'm sure it probably doesn't feel that way on your end. I know you just said that, but like
yeah,
it's not like everything's all made in the shade over on your end right now. But
no,
you're 24, you've been doing this for 2 years now, and it feels like
no, I'd
you're
say like almost 3 now. Yeah, almost 3. But
okay.
I had that 6-month stretch where I was injured after our backyard ultra. But anyway,
I forgot about that.
oh my gosh, I couldn't
But
even run.
I mean, that's a great example. You come such a long way from even just that experience.
Yeah,
What do you attribute that to?
man, I think I attribute to a lot of my success to my support system and my ability to kind of have the freedom to train and live the way that is um, ideal for success as an athlete. I think that goes back to like my family and how they raised me, and like the fact that I'm able to, if I needed to, if say Natalie and I go broke, we lose everything, like we'd be able to move back in with our parents and knowing that like we can go back to that and like kind of having like some sort of safety net, and kind of being more um, with that, being able to risk a little bit more with like maybe spending a bit more money on what we need, um, food, gear, all the things that contribute to the success. But
Yeah.
I think something that's bottom line is that I've taken a lot of what I've seen over the years of the people that are successful and kind of built on that as much as I can, and learning from a lot of the successes and failures of those that have came before me in the sport. Those that are professionals, those that are working to be professionals, and seeing like what they're doing and kind of taking different things from them and applying it as best as I can, while also kind of experimenting with my own training and trying things out and seeing if things stick and not being afraid of like failing. And I think another big thing is that I didn't really do much for ego like workouts or anything. I do what I need to do and I'm consistent with them, and I don't try to go for a Strava file that's impressive to other people that gets me more external validation. I know that building this solid base of aerobic fitness will over time develop into something that will be like special and that will be able to perform on the world stage. But it's a matter of like not taking a step back just to show someone that I can run a sub 6 mile for blah 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 miles on a day that I don't necessarily need to, and it won't like necessarily contribute to my training in a good way, and then I'll be out for 2 or 3 days, that type of thing. So I've been training, I guess, pretty conservatively and smart, and not going balls to the wall and like trying to get these weeks of like 100 miles with 20 to 30K of vert just yet, just because I know that I'm still fairly fresh in the sport. I also think that genetically, my body tends to adapt to stimulus a bit better than I'd say probably most people. I think that's just like, I don't know. I don't know if that what it is, but I think weightlifting, from weightlifting to running, like I and I don't know if that's like just like being a decent athlete and growing up playing ball sports, but it's like being able to adapt to certain stimulus pretty fast and to like learn like
Yeah.
different movements pretty fast. I think I started weightlifting freshman year of college, like more seriously, and within less than 6 months, I was able to deadlift 500 pounds from being like a scrawny,
What the?
from being like a scrawny, like going into that college year. And like this, not to like flex, it's just like to say like I might be more predestined to like succeed at athletics more just because my body adapts better than maybe
Yeah.
others would. And like that's probably a contributor, and I don't want to leave that out because
Yeah.
it's not like it's hard work, but there's also things that contribute to it too.
Yeah.
Like so, um Yeah, I think there's a bunch of factors that contribute. You know, what I put in my body, what I eat, like how I time my food with my workouts and stuff, and like what I do there. I guess another thing is probably my relationship with God and having that relationship. Um, it's a bunch of different things.
I will add to, like, there does seem to like be a very consistent focus that you've had since the very
Yes.
beginning.
No, and that's
Like it,
another
you've been
thing.
very focused on this goal and not necessarily like uprooting your entire life, but in a sense, in a very healthy sense, like
Yeah,
uh, putting yourself in a position to succeed at this thing in the best way possible.
definitely.
Whether it's where you live, where you work, who you spend time around, you're very focused on this goal and making it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And
On
like,
that
yeah, the
too.
genetics are great. Like that's not everybody has that, but everybody has the opportunity to have the focus that you have, and you are taking full advantage of that.
Yeah, I guess I made the move with my like previous job to like basically convince them to let me work fully remote so that I could move
Yeah.
to Boulder to live at altitude, to become a better trail runner, to pursue the dream. And like I'm grateful for them allowing me to do that, but like that wouldn't have happened without me like going into like the CEO's office and like basically telling him like I I am prioritizing like my like running and I like need to be out here and like this is gonna be more fulfilling for me and probably better. Um, so it is a matter of like probably where I've lived too and being able to adapt to like altitude and training on terrain that's more conducive to better performances on similar terrain and races.
Yeah.
And then working jobs that are a little bit less stressful than, you know, trying to climb the corporate ladder. I think that's another contributing factor as well. And I will say that it wouldn't be possible without Natalie and her income as well at this point. Like there's so many different things that contribute to my ability to even have the potential to do any of this. But I think I've, like you had said, I've been very like focused and like pointed on achieving this goal, and I think it's what's best for like our family and like I want our kids to grow up like knowing that their mom and dad are like pursuing like greatness in some way and that they're like trying to attain things that like quote unquote normal people or people that might give up easily wouldn't like attain because it's cool and it's healthy for your body. I think I know in some ways like maybe it's not like, but I think it's cool to push yourself in a way that that isn't normal, I guess. But at the end of the day, like it is running, so it is fun. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it is enjoyable. Like it's a privilege to be able to like do some of the things that we're doing. Um, but yeah, things have sped up a lot faster than I thought they would, and it's kind of hard at this point now to like each day it's kind of tough determining what paths or like what like adventures to choose that would be best for like our family, like my career, like what would be best for each one and kind of trying to blend them in a way that works best, you know, like
And when you say adventures, are you talking about like race specific stuff or run specific stuff or just in general
it's in
adventure?
general like different like opportunities taking say in like for work or
Right.
for like yeah running races like what races to do that might put you in position to be more valuable to say like a sponsor or a partnership and like why would it be
Right.
advantageous for you to
Right.
run it not just outside of you being motivated by a certain race like maybe like it's just best because it's competitive and most eyeballs are on it and you can show the talent that you've been working on even if the course or like the race itself isn't as motivating like it's giving you a platform that and an opportunity to like show like I'm here. I've been working towards this. Like, here's what I'm capable of. Like, do you want me to represent your brand with like what I bring to the table as a person, as a runner, as a like, those type of things.
Podcaster.
Podcaster, YouTuber, Substacker, Instagrammer, not TikToker as of now, but we'll see if
We'll get there.
China. No, but I thought TikTok was banned, honestly. That's
Hey, it was never gonna happen. We all knew
Okay.
it.
Okay.
You know what's funny about that being banned though? Is all these people before it got banned came on and were like honest about how they were lying to people. Like
Who?
just like people who they're like these fitness influencers or these run influencers.
Oh, like they would like drop
they're
like
like yeah,
mic drops like
actually I never did any of these workouts, or I actually never ran any of these miles. I just posted the video and then went back to my house, and then it didn't get banned, and everybody's like, wait, fuck you.
yeah. Yeah.
So well, we got a few more things. We'll talk about my addiction on another podcast. I had the opportunity to speak to 2 teams. So I did a little speaking engagement for my college lacrosse team before practice, and then a high school lacrosse team, Prior Lake. Last Thursday and Friday. Both head coaches coached me at St. Thomas. So they'd reached out to me a little while ago, just wanted me to come share some wisdom. And dude, it was such a full circle moment. There's so many
It's like you could see yourself watching you almost.
well, yeah, because like I was reflecting on how I used to be, well, in one of those circles, in one of those huddles, and the people that were like now guiding those groups, those men, those teams, those head coaches coached me. And like when they coached me, I was such a knucklehead. Like the stupid shit that I would say and do, like to think
Probably,
that
yeah.
just
Probably
to think
cool
that
for them
that
to
kid
see.
would come back, and like it was cool because they helped mentor me in a positive direction. And I kind of wrote about this yesterday, like their like my stubbornness caused a delay in the words that they preached every day in practice, not just like on lacrosse stuff, but life stuff. But their words finally landed when I decided to mature and like take them serious.
Did you tell the
And
kids about that?
I didn't. I didn't really. I should have. That's one thing that I missed going back as I was like reflecting on my experience
Yeah.
is that. But like I wrote about like I was like a living representation of the words that they preach every single day, and to be able to go back and be that embodiment to the groups that they coach, to me felt really special. And it just was really cool being able to stand up there and own the room, own the space, have this story that I wanted to share. And I posted the video of my talk on my YouTube channel, so you can check it out. But at high level, like it
Nice
was, plug Mark.Dowdle. But it was just about this sense that like in order to accomplish anything hard, you need a team, you need accountability, you need a partner in that. And when I was running Arrowhead, I was so totally unprepared for that mentally. I came in with arrogance, came in with my chest puffed out like I was going to set the course record, and I had no respect for the course whatsoever. And when the demons came for me, when the adversity came for me, it crushed me. And I wanted to quit. I called Lucy, and she was like, "You can't quit." And so having somebody to insert that voice in my mind that I couldn't find myself allowed me to continue on for another 105 miles. And
amazing.
having a team that is what, like, that's what being the best teammate is. It's being able to say what's hard in a hard moment and do it for the right reasons.
So it's so fun to crew and pace.
Yeah, it really is. So, that was cool. And like, it's funny because I had a DM from a coach from a local high school baseball team. He's like, I saw your talk. Like, can you can you come and speak to our high school? What are your rates? I'm like,
I was gonna
wait,
say,
what?
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna, you're gonna have to start charging like,
Dude, I don't know what to respond to that. Because
I don't
full
know.
transparency, I went to speak for free to these teams. I would not have
Yeah.
accepted money. Not that they were offering, but
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, high school, like, where's their budget coming from? Is
I
that
have
coming
no
from the
idea.
Coach? Is that coming from like the coach himself? Like,
I have no idea. Maybe they have a.
I know they don't get paid that much at all. Like a few grand per season, and then like it's kind of just added on to the head coach's salary.
I guess it would depend where the money. It's coming if it's coming from like the booster club or the school itself. That's different. If it's coming from the coach's pocket, I am not accepting that
10K,
money.
10K.
Yeah, 10,000.
Open up another mortgage, buddy.
Wait, what's Cocodona's race entry fee? 2,500. All right, it's that.
He just like sponsors that. Dude, wait, that's a good idea.
Honestly.
Wait,
Ooh.
wait.
Whoa! Wait! Say that. Say that again.
Wait, let me think here. You speak at all these schools, like you share value with them, give them your wisdom. In return, they help to fund your next adventure and the next talk.
Dude, I love where you're going with this.
Woo!
Let's
We're cooking
go.
right now.
Let's go. We're cooking.
We're cooking
We're
right now. Like
cooking.
if you want to see me do some crazy other things that I'll have some more things to talk about to you guys and to bring and like to share with you guys, like help me out and fundraise for this type of thing. Boom. We're in.
Dude, I love where your head's at.
We got
with
some
this.
potential here.
That is.
Like you're like the vessel for this. Like,
Yeah.
Like you can show them like I was this knucklehead. Like this is what I'm becoming, and like after this is what like happened. It's like a whole like story arc type of thing. Woo!
Knucklehead to athlete.
Knucklehead to 250-mile finisher here.
All right, I like this. Sponsor me for my next adventure. All right. I'm gonna cook that up. I'm gonna use that. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. Speaking of sponsors, I did actually land, and you know this, Alex, and I won't get into too detail-y about this. I won't name them yet because we'll have a post about that. But I got a beer mile series coming up in June. That's part of the reason I've been doing a lot more speed track workouts. I'm going to be competing against college football teams in a knockout beer mile, and I landed my first beer sponsor for this project, which
Anheuser Busch. No, I'm just kidding.
no,
kidding.
thankfully.
But
No,
you'll be
it's
using
huge.
NA beers, right?
I will be using NA beers, and the beer sponsor isn't solely an NA beer company, but they have been looking to market and push their NA beer, and it just was like a perfect match between what I was offering them and what they were looking to put resources and money behind, and it just worked out so nicely. And I've been beating my head against the wall. For those who don't know, like part of the reason that I quit my job back in 2024, just over a year ago, was because I wanted to take YouTube full time and get sponsorships based on the projects that I did, and I didn't like
It's
this.
funny
Is,
when you start having a job again, like the sponsors come.
dude, it's nuts, but it feels honestly. I feel more fulfilled now, and I've more on my plate now than I ever have. Like I'm working almost full time with Busy. I'm umping baseball games, which
Wait a
I
second
got
here.
rained out. I got rained out again today, so I haven't
We've got, like,
officially
parallels
umped
here.
a game.
We've got like parallels here, I think, because I just started like basically working again like a few months ago. Now I'm going full time, and like now like things are
Everything it's happening, but I
God's not encouraging degeneracy. No, I'm kidding.
no, but that honestly, that is when things started to turn around for me financially and job wise and having opportunities of making money. It was very clear when Lucy and I had a really tough conversation about this is before I'd proposed to her, and this is
Yeah.
like talking about, okay, like if you're gonna provide for our future family,
It's like
speaking
you
to
can't
me,
finance
like
this ring.
you can't like making $1.50 on a YouTube video that I spend all day working on isn't
That's the
that's not
American
cutting
dream.
it. It's not cutting it. And it's not. And she would never tell me to give up on my dream, but having other responsibilities and making sure that we can do this together and do it like intelligently. And it was that day that I got on my hands and knees and I prayed to God.
Okay.
And yeah, come on. I prayed and I asked, like, help me out. Like, I just started reading and we had talked about this on a podcast where it's like the man who does not provide for his family and people close to him is worse than a non-believer. Like, we are we were built to be able to handle the load, handle the burden. Don't go there.
And I was even still okay. We're gonna have to cut out a lot of these clips for this podcast. Natalie's parents listen to this.
But that being said,
Okay, back.
that we're built to carry that burden, and like the more that we get put on our plate, the more we're rising to step into that role. And I think that we're just strengthening that. All right, what? All right.
I was thinking we have to cut some of these clips. Like,
I'm not cutting this. So,
okay, we gotta cut it.
Mr. and
Send it
Mrs.
to me.
Natalie, I'm sorry.
Mr. and Mrs. Natalie. Oh man.
Well,
Okay. Yes, but your point, yes, being
my point is,
things are
it's
on the
it's
up.
not a surprise that the more we've taken on, the more opportunities we found.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good way to close it. Okay, we can just cut like the middle part of like us being silly
Close it.
gooses. I wasn't gonna burst out laughing and tell you like don't go there. I was like, oh, yeah, of course. Oh man.
All right. Well, I think
What
that's all we got.
Okay.
Sponsor me for. I really like that. I really like that idea. Sponsor my next adventure.
So with this, I guess sponsorship for your beer miles, is that fully funding like your summer of beer miles, or like are you looking to take on more sponsorships? Like, what does the setup look like right now? Do you know like,
So
the extent of it?
it's a project sponsorship. So like it's not like it's just for this project. So this project in June will be 10 races that I do. It'll just be the month of June, and the goal. I'm gonna go meet them at the brewery in a week or two, May 8th.
Oh, so it's a local sponsor.
It's a local sponsor. And they do have a brewery, so that should give you some more detail. And they have an NA beer. But the goal is to focus so hard on this project that I over deliver, and then they find enough value in it to wash, rinse, repeat this for maybe an August or September, where I go back and I do this project again in a similar way with lacrosse programs. Like, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm giving away $1,000 to the team with the most laps completed. And what I'd like to also do is when I go to these teams is sit down and have a podcast with one person on the team that is chasing something or just wants to share a story, a project that they're working on that's maybe outside of the range of football. Because I'm not all that interested in football. I'm more interested in like someone who's doing something that they're excited about, proud of. Maybe it's a little unique, crazy, weird, and we can sit down and have a conversation about it. And then do that again in the fall. So it's up in the air, but it's a good first step.
It's good, man. You deserve it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Long time coming.
All right.
But
We
it's
gotta
the
cut.
perfect-
We gotta cut
but
this
it's the
episode.
perfect- We're gonna keep it going. We're doing a backyard ultra show. We're just gonna keep on going. Who can stop talking for?
We're on hour 24 of the
We're
Ultra
just
Ascend
We're
podcast.
just filibustering now. Oh,
right.
one more thing.
What?
One more thing. How about jeans and marathons? What are your thoughts on that? Last topic.
Jeans and marathons, I think as long as the person wearing jeans and running the marathon doesn't have e-bikes and video cameras on the course with them, I think we're all squared away.
As long as they're like the world record pull-up holder.
As long as they
The pull-up world
the
record.
pull-up, yeah. Yeah, I'm good with it. Genetics, good genetics. Must be nice.
Must be your dad, buddy.
Must be dude's a beast.
Yeah,
He's a specimen.
it's insane. Going from Boston to Eugene back to back. We're talking about Truett Haynes. He's the son of Cam Haynes. He's most known, I think, notably now for his pull-up world record in 24 hours of doing 10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours, and now he's going for like a sub 2:30 marathon this year. Just jacked out of his mind, and he just ran the Boston Marathon in like 2:39, and then a weekend later ran the Eugene Marathon in 2:34. Both, I think, were PRs.
Fifth place.
Something crazy. Yeah,
Insane.
so
And he's got the last person standing coming up in about a month
oh, dude.
for the
yeah, him
for
and
the
Scott
Go One More.
Hickenlooper.
yeah. So I mean, that's what I obviously, been following Truett, so I know he's obviously got the pull-ups down. It's no surprise that it's no surprise that he's running fast marathons because he's run fast marathons in the past.
Yeah,
Which is
13
still
ran
insane.
3:30.
It's still insane. But what I'll be interested to see is how he responds and shows up to something that's like completely outside of the scope of what he's typically been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
I
just
mean,
did Leadville this year too.
that's right. So,
Yeah.
but last
we need to
person
get you
standing
there
is
somehow.
different. It's different than a 100-mile race. Like the mentality of it is
It's
different.
totally different.
If he just shows up and dominates that I don't know what to think of him.
That
after
settles
that.
it.
Yeah.
That settles it. He's goated.
Yeah.
No, he already is goated.
Bend the
but
knee.
Yeah. That's
All right.
crazy.
Well, that's episode 17.
Wrap it up.
All right. We're
What?
done. We're done.